Hey, what's up, you guys? It's IAmTheLionRider, and today we are doing a, frankly, really long overdue video, and that is the South America prop tier list. So, for those who have been kind of following my prop tier list that I do every DLC, I started them way back during the Australia DLC, and have kind of done them pretty consistently with all the remaining updates for of course, the latest was the Southeast Asia update. I did one for the Aquatic Pack. And so I thought now we would kind of dive back in time to review stuff that probably, should have been reviewed a while ago. So we are starting off with the second most recent one that I didn't get to do, and that was the South America Pack. Now, I should preface this by saying that now we're almost a year out from when the South America Pack was released, maybe actually over a year, and I know very much how each of these ranks pretty definitively, I'd say. So I would say really strongly, I know for a fact we're going to have some triple S tiers. F tier is going to be very, very minor, because if you are a builder, the South America Pack is by far a must-have. I know a lot of people like to say the Australia Pack is the best, or the Aquatic Pack. If you are someone who is a zoo builder, the South America Pack, as much as like the animals aren't maybe the best for a lot of people, the resources and scenery items that are inside of the South America Pack are a must-have. So I guess we'll just start from the left, and we'll just start with the immediate S tier, and that is the temple wall pieces. So I'm just going to group these all immediately. So the temple wall pieces, you're probably like, Nick, why are they S tier? Well, if you're someone like me who's kind of followed how people have been using the in-game pieces for a while and stuff, the fact that the flexi-color temple pieces are an option allows you to make, any type of temple for any area of the world. So even though it's based off South America, you could make it a medieval castle, you could make it kind of like a sandstone wall piece and do like a Middle Eastern vibe or Egyptian. You can do literally any type of temple. A lot of people lately for Southeast Asia have been doing Southeast Asia temples, like Cambodian stuff. These are a must-have piece. They are so useful, and for that reason, they are easily S tier. So right off the bat, we're just going to start out, and then we get to, I'm going to kind of group these all into one category, and that is the individual temple pieces. So each of these are different types of bricks, and again, these are also a must-have. They are easily triple S tier. Because they are flexi-color, they are super useful. So this entire category falls into this scenario. Now, something that I will say, so these pieces, these temple wall decoration pieces, and I'll kind of rope all of these together as well. These pieces aren't nearly as diverse or useful as the big normal wall pieces, but they're far from bad. You could definitely use these within the temple set. They are flexi color, so if you're creative with some of these things, like as you can see here, I kind of sunk them into the ground a little bit. You can definitely use them for pieces other than what their intended use is for. I know a lot of people like to use this little hook element on this specific corner piece as a thing that they do some detailing with because it's flexi color. Similarly, you could kind of even do some sort of like a Nordic theme with these pieces, like if you actually like try to change them to like maybe a bluish color or something like this maybe. Or actually, give me a sec. If you change it to this, now it's like a Nordic rune. You can definitely get away with some of these. This big one is, I'm not gonna lie, it's not really as useful, but the little ones you can kind of get away with for sure. But and I guess we can kind of rope these in as well. So these pieces are the trim pieces, and similarly, they're kind of also B tier. Now, I will say, I have each of these temple pieces in general comes in 3 different sets. So they have the gold, the flexi color, and then the standard rock set. Now the rock set is really good if you're just going for a standard South American temple. And the gold kind of does also work, though I will say, in general, the gold pieces are a lot less useful. So I haven't found too many uses out of the gold, unfortunately. So I actually might move these down to maybe even D tier. So any of the gold pieces, you know, this piece, these pieces, etc., I just don't really see the value in them, unfortunately. So, now, like I said, we'll just kind of go into the general ruins, and I'll kind of, again, rope all of these together just for simplicity's sake, because they make a really good modular set. These are an A tier, so even if they're not the flexi-color pieces, the runes that we get are really, really useful. They do work extremely well. And even these rubble pieces, I know a lot of people who like to build and stuff use these as kind of like rocks and stuff. So these are definitely a really, really useful piece if you kind of like, you know, go outside of your comfort zone. And again, if you're making maybe like a Roman themed park or something, these could work as Roman ruins. You have a lot of flexibility. Now, the beauty of, like I said, the temple pieces, because I'll kind of talk about why they're triple S tier again, is, again, you can kind of use these to make custom rocks. So these were the flexi-color rocks before flexi-color rocks. And that is the main draw of them, is you were able to make entire things. If I go into my blueprints, one of the things I did right before we got the aquatic pack was I used those temple pieces to literally recreate all the rocks that are in the base game and made them flexi-color. That's how useful they are. So from that perspective, they are easily a triple S tier. So next up, we'll kind of get into maybe not some of the more popular pieces. So these are the rope pieces. So the rope pieces are not bad by any means, but they're definitely not the greatest. The rope pieces, they have their uses. I would probably put them in C tier. They're really good if you're trying to use them in conjunction with some of the bamboo pieces that we'll get to later. Over here, we can kind of address these as well. They're bad by any means, but you're not going to get as much use out of them as the base game rope, for sure. But they aren't bad. So next up, this is a big one. So the South American wood pieces. So you have a bunch of wood options here. And so I will say the default wood that you get from this pack is pretty good, but it's not spectacular. So I'm going to put it in B tier. It's a nice color. You get a lot of shape variety, which is really useful, but nothing spectacular. However, another thing they added with this pack, though, was the flexi-color equivalent, and that is, once again, an S tier. Anything that is flexi-color is usually an S tier, unless you make it super, super specific. So I think for this reason, this wood set is very much used for a lot of builders out there, in conjunction with maybe even the Planet Zoo set or the East Asian set. This is one of, if not the best, wood in the game currently, or flexi-color wise. So next up, we get into another thing that, again, really, really good, and that was the South American bamboo options. So we got a lot of bamboo options, which wasn't really a surprise. And I will say that the normal bamboo is an S tier. It's really good. I really like how the bamboo is, very versatile. It can be used in, again, Africa, Southeast Asia, Australia, pretty much anywhere in the world. And it works really well. And it's just a normal bamboo color. So that is why it's S tier. But what is even crazier was this piece, which is the flexi color bamboo. So this is triple S tier. Again, bamboo is such a big part of zoos that the fact that we got a flexi color version in one set makes this an absolute must-have. You absolutely need this for all of your parks. So next up, we have the, going with the bamboo theme, the bamboo wall set. So the bamboo wall set, and again, all of these pieces kind of go in conjunction. Similarly, S tier. But what I will say is it isn't triple S tier. However, our next section which is the flexi-color wall set. So this bamboo wall set, again, very, very good. The fact that it's flexi-color is amazing. Everyone loves to use this. This kind of acted as a wood replacement for a while, or even like a corrugated metal. This was our go-to for the longest time before we got some better options later down the line with stuff like the Australia or Aquatic Pack. But the bamboo still holds up to this day. It is still a very, very good set, and I really, really enjoy it. So I guess we can kind of jump from talking about the walls to the roof options. So with the South America pack, we got a lot of thatch roof options, which, once again, I have to say, thatch roofs are really useful. They're really, really nice. And I don't want to say they're as nice as maybe the other S tiers or whatever, but they are really nice. So I'm going to put them all in the normal S tier. They're not triple S tier or anything. Actually, some of these might get knocked down a peg because of their usability is a bit weird. So I'm just going to move these pieces down just a tier to A tier. Because I feel like we're kind of crowding S tier a little bit. But these pieces that you can rotate any way and stuff and are flat, those are easily S tier. Very, very useful pieces. And like I said, I really like the texture of the thatch. It's really nice. It works very, very well. So that kind of goes over all the really good pieces in this pack. So as you can see, very, very good, you know, triple S, S, A, B. Oh, the majority of this pack is really high up there. But this is sort of the negative side of the pack. And for those who have been following, you know, my series and stuff, you kind of know how I grade stuff by now. I go off of usability. And unfortunately, the remaining South American DLC scenery props are so not special. Except for this section, but we'll cover that in a minute. So I guess we'll start off with some of these doors. So starting out, these doors aren't bad. I actually don't mind them all too much. The bamboo door, I'd actually probably say, is a solid A tier. It's not a bad door by any means. But this other one, it's kind of like a C tier. It is flexi-color, but you'll notice quickly that the designs of the South America props really detract from their usability in other sections, especially some of the ones later on, like this area over here. But for the most part, the door isn't too bad. This frame, however, and this frame as well, the frames they're just too South America specific. They're not bad, they're kind of pretty, but they kind of make it look like a children's play sheet for the Rainforest Cafe more than an actual usable zoo prop or anything. And as you can see, they have the tree frog and the monkey and the you know, like a chameleon and stuff. They're just so specific that it doesn't really work out. There's a llama. It's just not the best, and they don't really have that kind of usability that you'd want. Now, kind of redeeming it a little bit are these fences, and I love the fences in this pack. Really, they work really, really well. So, you know what, I might actually put these in B tier. They're pretty good, actually. I actually really like them. They're not flexi-color, but they're a nice, vague zoo fence. They're bamboo and leaves and rope, and that can kind of work in any section. You can use an African jungle section or a Southeast Asia jungle section. It kind of works as just a general jungle fence, and that's what I really like about it. Now, similarly, I really love the torches in this pack. The torches are awesome, and I'm actually going to put them in S tier, because they're far better than the Arctic pack torches, which we'll get to very, very soon in another video. And they do have a flexi-color light, and so you can change the color of their fire to be whatever color. You can make braziers out of them, you can change everything. The long lamp post isn't my favorite. I might actually knock it down a peg for this reason. It's a little too themed, like I said. It's a little too in the way, but I will say this one isn't too bad. It's just some bamboo and rope, and it works really well as a torch. So I actually really like that piece a bit. Now, coming up next is the butterfly light. So the butterfly light is actually, weirdly enough, one of my favorite lights in the game. It's not too in your face that it's a light, which is the funny part, and it is flexi color, so you can change the color of the butterfly to be literally like whatever you want. You can change the light to be whatever you want. It works really, really well, actually, and it's a vague butterfly, so, you know, it kind of works wherever. It's actually a really good prop, and I actually really like that one. So now we get to the weird section. So all of these, I don't even know what they're called. They're tapestries. The tapestries need to go. They are not useful. They're probably your D tier, maybe even lower. Yeah, I might say F tier. They're just not useful. Like, unless you're making a habitat specifically for llamas, jaguar, capuchin monkey, red-eyed tree frog, or giant anteater, they are useless. And even if you like even if you have one of those animals, do you really like the artwork? Because you could probably make a much better sign now with billboards, or even like something like Just Goron's, you know, custom signs that look a lot better. So from that perspective, yeah, same thing. And like similarly, these props that have the same kind of aesthetic, same thing. I really wanted to like them. And I have to give credit to the artists who worked on them. They look nice. Like, I like the designs of them. They are flexi color. It's just they're so specific to South America that it's really hard to use them for anything else. And I should also say, it's not even that they're specific to South America. They're specific to this idea of art in South America. Because if you have a South American section, it doesn't mean that you want to have this bright, colorful, mosaic look. You might want something a bit more subtle, and I think it really contrasts with some of the very neutral thatch and wood and bamboo pieces that they also offer. And that brings us to these guys. Probably the worst props of this pack. They're not a Mecharoo level, but they're pretty close. And that is the gold llama statue and the South American jaguar statue. Here is your issue. So, well, as great as this pack is, this jaguar doesn't even look like a jaguar. It looks like some sort of abstract art piece, which everyone knows I hate. And a lot of people don't like them, because, again, I don't know anyone who uses this statue in their parks, because it's so weirdly specific. It's so themed that you can't really use it for your pack, like for a pack of any kind. If you wanted a jaguar statue, it's actually better to use something like the tiger statue from the campaign missions as a jaguar than this. And the llama, I'll give the llama credit. The llama is at least a llama. It's nothing crazy. It's a gold statue of a llama, but it's not too stylized to where it's like not identifiable as one. So for that reason, I'll actually move the llama up to D. Jaguar, though, is definitely an F tier. Next up, we have the stone heads. So the stone heads, I have seen no one use these. However, I am not going to put them in the F tier category. They are D tier. Now, even though they are really ugly, they don't really look like Eastern Island heads. They're trying to replicate the visual look of the peeps from the game. They're not the worst thing. They could be used kind of vaguely as just regular boulders if you just kind of sink them into the ground. It's not terrible, but I wouldn't be surprised if not many people use these. And that seems to be the case, because I've never seen anyone use these, unfortunately. So for that reason, they're D tier. Yeah. I was like, do I want to put them in F tier? No, they're fine where they are. Now, here is where the super specific South America stuff redeems itself. And this is from these signs. So I really like the monkey and tree frog signs. As much like I wish we had signs of all the animals, but I actually don't mind the art style of this. So this tree frog sign works really, really well. It's kind of vague. Even though it's from South America, it's a good frog sign that you can throw on the side of basically any reptile or amphibian house, and it works really, really well. And I have seen these monkey signs. They're very specific, but weirdly enough, they also work really well decorating custom signs. I've seen a lot of people use them. Now that billboards are out, it's a little bit obsolete, of course, but that's going to be all signs, basically. But I actually really like these monkey signs. They work really well for like children's zoo entrances or South America entrances, walls, etc. They're pretty good, and I actually really enjoy them. They're not super in-your-face themed, and they work really well. So I totally forgot about this section. So you'd think that all these leaves are super vague, so why would anyone use them, right? But the plus is all of these are actually FlexiColor. And so if you wanted to make custom murals, these are your go-to pieces. They're all FlexiColor, and they all work extremely well. So I'd actually probably put them in S tier as well. They really do work very well for what their intended purpose is, which was making custom signs prior to now. So I actually probably put them in S tier. The South America pack really did deliver on quite a few really good things, so I actually really enjoyed that. So similarly, I believe these flowers are also FlexiColor, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so these flowers go alongside, they're in the same category, so we'll just literally move them in as well, because once again, they help really help out your custom signage and stuff, and they look really well. And I've used them for murals and stuff. They are an awesome prop. So this little vine isn't as useful as the others, unfortunately. It's not FlexiColor, and it's kind of a weird shape. So I'm probably going to put it in C tier. It's nothing super crazy or anything. And this sign over here is literally a Mayan temple. This is probably going to be in D tier. I don't know anyone who would use it unless you're making a South American themed temple. But it's not bad. It is vague, of course. So next up, we have all of the window options. Window options for this pack, not actually that bad, all things considered. I'll actually probably put them pretty in B tier. They're pretty good. They kind of fit well with, like I said, the door panels and the doors and fences and stuff. They're just kind of vague, and some of them are FlexiColor, so that is really nice. And when in doubt, thatch or bamboo just works in most zoo things. So if you make a thatch, bamboo, or stone or wood option, there's a fair chance I'm gonna really enjoy that prop, because it's just gonna make making stuff a lot better. The signs for this pack, this is a tough one, because they are really themed to the temple wall set, but they also aren't the worst thing. I think I'm gonna put them in C tier. They're not bad by any means. And I kind of do like the decal and stuff. They're a little specific. These ones have a llama on them. But if you were just making a sign that was built in using some of the other wall piece or temple pieces or whatever, like from this set, you'd probably get some use out of working with those. So that basically covers all of that section. So now we're going to do the, I guess, facilities related items. So pathway. So pathway, the bamboo paths are going to be placed in B tier. I know you probably can't see it, but let me try to elevate it. So both the horizontal and the vertical versions of the bamboo are going in B tier. They work really well. I actually really enjoy them. I like the railing on them. I like how it's like a nice rope. And so yeah, that's all I have to really say. Now the gold pathway. This one I'm not super crazy about. This one is probably gonna be in D tier. I don't know why you would really make a gold path unless you were making like an El Dorado type thing. So for that reason, the gold is gonna be in D tier. So finally, the last thing we have to review are the actual props of the facility. And this is where I absolutely hate what they did. They made these way too specific. And it's a shame because South America is such a vague jungle theme that they could have just made these exact same things with just leaves and it would have been fine. But no, they had to stick the animals in a stylized form on the props. So, as an example, the anteater bench. This bench could have been so much better if they just didn't include the anteater. because then you could at least justify it by including it elsewhere. And again, if the idea is, well, you could put it inside of an anteater enclosure or next to one, that's assuming you want this art style, which, like I said, is a bit too cartoony for a lot of people, and I don't think many people would enjoy it outside of like a children's zoo type deal. So similarly, this picnic table with the jaguar on it, the fact that it's flexi-colored doesn't really matter. The only use I found to make it slightly better is you can kind of turn it into a snow leopard if you do this. If you just change the colors, you can kind of make it into a snow leopard. But aside from that, there's still leaves surrounding it, so it's not like you could really practically use it. It's just not useful. So, unfortunately, these are also F tier. So I'm going to have to probably put these in F tier. Give me a sec. We'll go into facilities, and then drop in our bench. Drop in our table. It won't even let me. There we go. Hold on. I just had it. I just had it. Come on. No. There we go. Come on. There we go. It did it. There you go. So these two are going to be in it. The picnic table isn't as bad. Picnic table, you can maybe find a use for it. The floral design isn't super bad, and it is technically flexi color, so I'll give it a pass. And the trash can, I mean, you know what? It's vague enough. I'll put it in D tier. Still not good, but it is flexi color, and it's not terrible. But I think that basically wraps up the South America pack. So, again, pretty wide range here. A lot of S tiers, a lot of A tiers, a lot of B tiers. Fortunately, a lot of F tiers. Not a lot of middle of the road here. C and D don't have nearly as many, but a lot of F, a lot of S, triple S. It's kind of crazy. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you disagree with any of these picks. I know some people really enjoy the super hyper specific stuff. But yeah, so past that, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you next time.